Hello, guys. Welcome to Stanchion.
Hello, and welcome back.
Right, I've got a few questions that we put out a post for the socials, and we wanted everyone to put some comments in, talking about whether they had some unpopular opinions, some outlandish comments, or even just debating points that we want. So I've
had a nosy. There's some
I have
ones.
had some nosy.
Yeah.
There's some ones that I know might raffle some feathers between the crew. So I would like to have a look. I'm going to start with one which has come from Hansel827. So this is a nice one for me because as a Leeds fan, I hope that he is true. So he has said, all 3 promoted clubs this season will stay up. What do you think? Do you believe that based on the start that the boys have had this season, is he saying that now because of what he's seen, or is he saying that beforehand? Do you think he would have said that at the beginning of the season?
I think as we're filming this, Sunderland are 5th, if I'm right in saying that.
Yeah.
Good start. Leeds have had a good start. You've let two big goals in towards the end of games, which come the end of the season might hurt you, but Burnley are not there. Burnley relied so much defensively last season.
Yeah, their record in the Championship was wild.
Yeah, really good.
Wild.
To be honest, one of the best I've ever seen.
But did they didn't score freely. I think when they did get promoted, I thought that was going to be their downfall. If they might be able to keep clean
Scott
sheets,
Parker is another one of those managers that he's been promoted 3 times already.
Who's he? Is it? What do you have? Fulham.
Well, he was at Fulham, Bournemouth, and he's failed at both. And I think it's going to again maybe cause a bit of controversy. I think they've had some difficult games to start the season. I will say that they've had to play Liverpool, they've had to play Manchester City, and that's in the first 6 games. Where you look at Sunderland, who've they played? They've played West Ham. Who else? Who they played?
I can't think of anyone mental.
But that doesn't detract away from the good start that they've made. Although Burnley,
I've been impressed with Saka as well.
Yeah, I agree with you there,
I've
mate.
seen a wild comment. So we were in the van on the way home, and they were reading on the radio, and a bloke rang up, Sunderland fan. He's been a Sunderland fan for nearly 52 years.
Yeah,
and his comments were, Xhaka is the best Sunderland player he has ever seen. And I kind of, at first, I went, oh, that's a good comment.
Jermaine Defoe was amazing
I deep dived into it with Jed.
But they got relegated when Defoe was there, though. He scored a lot of goals, but they still got relegated.
They had Niall Quinn.
Mate, they had Kevin. They had Kevin Phillips winning the goal.
Yeah, all right.
And I think
these are the things Jed said to me. I kind of went, that's a bit of a...
Just to go back to my view on that, I think Sunderland have made a very good start. That goes without saying. I think we need to reserve judgment on it because it could happen, but will it happen? I don't think so. I think we stick to our pre-season predictions. I think they still play out the same. I think that Burnley are very, very good defensively, but they've got the good left winger who I can't stand actually as a person. Yeah, I just think he's a right cocky git.
We had him on loan in the Championship, and to be fair to him, he was a good player.
Yeah.
And when he went to the Prem with Burnley, I did think, is he going to be able to pull the same performances through? But actually watching him...
It's a very different Burnley to what we know Burnley to be.
But watching him, he's not a bad player. But you said his attitude and his arrogance about it.
Don't know if he's quite Prem. It's one of them.
I hope, for my sake, that Hansel is correct, because if I look at the start we've made, we've had a good start. On paper, if you'd give me those points at the beginning, I would have bit your hand off.
Have you seen the accumulated scores from the last 3 seasons? I think they're almost like 20 points ahead of
already,
the last 2 seasons. So,
and I hope for the Premier League's sake that we do keep some. We're not doing this free up, free down, free down.
Personally, 1 will survive. I think 2 could survive. I think 1 go back down, and I think
that's realistic.
I think we should also potentially revisit that potential comment just before Christmas. I think just
to throw another question into a question. If those 3 don't go down, who does go down?
Wolves.
See,
yeah, absolutely.
I hate to say it.
They're gone.
West Ham.
They made 9 changes to their. Wolves on the weekend, 9 changes to their team.
Yeah.
New formation. We don't see this from managers.
Yeah.
He's done well. They played well. I know they drew.
To be fair,
obviously Spurs fans would have watched it and they would have been like, "What the fuck?"
Second half against us, they fucking.
That's what I mean. The managers actually changed the formation and a team.
They brought on Larson, who just signed a fucking new deal, which was a bit weird.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Like,
but they did look better than us.
I hope after you beat them, I thought, they're gone now. They're
Do
done.
you know what I think it is, though? I think it's the Tottenham manager trying to be pragmatic and rest players for the week's games in the Champions League. I think that's part to do with it. And this is what I said would catch up with Tottenham. As soon as the European football starts, you will find that they will do and fall into the category of Villa, Newcastle. Over the past 2 seasons, these two clubs have struggled to deal with both. West Ham, we saw that. And I believe that when we're looking at the Premier League after 6 games, just quickly, if you look at from 14th down to 17th, Man United, Newcastle, Villa, Forest.
European clubs.
Talk to us after the next 6 games and see what we look like.
But have you seen Villa's games after European football?
No.
They haven't won.
Yeah.
All last year, every single time they played in Europe, the following Premier League game, no results. Is that going to be a pattern again this year?
I don't think the Europa League's anywhere near as strong as the Champions League these
You just
days.
believe that was because of the Champions League?
Mate, PSG, I think, for Bayern Munich.
But then, to be fair, they did do some great performances in those games as well. So you're going to get hyped for the Champions League, and you're going to be tired, I suppose.
I agree with you. You're playing Qarabag at home or Bayern Munich in the Allianz.
Yeah.
For me, I think
So, what do we reckon?
I
What
hope
James
again,
said?
like I said, I hope House was correct, and I do hope, but I do maybe Burnley. I can't see Sunderland keeping.
I think Burnley are
I think Leeds will stay. Like we said, Leeds stay up.
Yeah.
Burnley go down. Sunderland after the start.
I had Sunderland to go down, but they've done a lot.
I
better.
think momentum. If anything, they need that momentum.
Agreed.
And I think they could continue that.
Agreed.
The next comment I've got here is from Louis Stillman. This one is going to rattle all Arsenal fans. He is just simply
Like you did the other day.
He is just simply. Hey, until that late goal,
Yeah.
I took a screenshot because I was ready to
Just
upload.
before it,
I was ready,
mate,
and they were sat 7th. I know it's early, but I was ready to upload.
They only got 1 goal.
I was
from
ready
open
to
play all
upload.
season.
So Louis has put, just plain and simple, Saka is overrated.
I think in terms of since I think it's the last 2 seasons, goal assists and goals for Arsenal Football Club puts Bukayo Saka top. When you look at the not trophy success, but let's say relative successful playing of Arsenal over the last couple of years, they have been up there, haven't they? They've gone deep in the Champions League, they've gone deep in the Premier League, they haven't gone deep enough to get a climax, but ultimately I think that Saka, for me, do you know what? I don't think he's world class. I don't think he is world class. I think he's a level below currently. He could be world class.
Can I chuck in a 2 pence?
Yeah.
I think we are so recency biased with players. And I think Foden will get tarnished with the same sort of... Foden was injured for a big majority of the second half of last season. And I think that's why people have he gets forgotten because it was a big boost to you guys because he was their star player.
Yeah.
I still think he's world class.
They're both...
Or not world class. That's too
the
heavy.
thing they've both got is they're both 24.
Yeah.
And it's something like Foden and Saka feel like they've been around forever.
Yeah.
But, like James just said, he could have had the potential and he might still have the potential to be world class.
It's definitely there.
But in my head, I'm thinking Mbappe, already world class. He's already world class.
Jude Bellingham.
They're already world class at that age.
Yeah.
Lamau, he's already world class at that age.
In the Champions League, I'd still back Saka to score.
Is it because I think that because I see him every week playing? If I was to watch La Liga every week, would I have a different opinion?
Do you not think Saka's entertaining to watch?
I think over the last... I think the last 18 months, he gets the ball on the right wing, he stops, he turns around, and he passes it back.
No, I'll tell...
Do you know
there
was a good video I seen the other day of players from the early 90s, late 90s and early 2000s, wingers.
Yeah.
I'm talking wingers.
Yeah.
Get the ball, your Iron Robin, fucking get down
what
the
Man
line.
United were made of. They were made on wingers.
Yeah. And what's happened? Pep's killed them.
Yeah. They get the ball,
they get the ball, they turn around, they pass it back.
Just look at the renaissance of Jack Grealish.
See, I knew this was going to come. And this does my head in when people say Pep killed Grealish. Grealish has gone from being the fucking entire club of Aston Villa. Like, he was what Gareth Bale was to Tottenham. Yeah. He was the club, right?
He's
so
now
he was
back
everything.
At Everton.
Yeah, and it's at Everton right now. Give him the ball. Let him do what he wants. Dewsbury Hall, Grealish. Dewsbury Hall, Grealish.
Yeah.
That is what we're going to do. He's gone from that to Man City, where there's 4 or 5 players better than him.
I also
So
think
you don't have to give him the ball.
You also have to look at Doku, mate, and you also have to look at Savinho, and you have to look at Savinho for Getafe. He was excellent. He was taking 3 or 4 players on, and let's be honest, they upset the apple cart that season. Could have been just a good season. Hands up, granted, I admit that. But in terms of when you look at Doku, let's have a look at Leroy Sané. All these players, it's the same thing. They take on 2 or 3 players. Instead of boxing it, they'll stop, turn, pass it back. When I saw Grealish when Everton played Liverpool the other week at Anfield, I was nervous. Every time he got the ball, he looked like he does for England.
You remember when he was at Villa where he'd chop in on the right.
Some of those championship goals.
I feel like he's wasted his career. I feel like he's wasted. That's not detracting from Pep.
Mate, he won a treble.
Manager.
And bearing in mind that treble season, he was one of their better players as well.
He was. You're right. He was.
Yeah.
But I think we enjoy, when nostalgia side of us love proper.
Yeah.
The
proper
Mavericks.
wingers.
Love proper wingers.
Yeah.
There's nothing beats the down the wing.
Yeah.
A few little tricks.
Yeah.
Ball in the box. Yeah. Fucking big centre half.
But what I don't understand about Saka, right? Okay, great human being, undeniable.
Yeah.
Great character. He's a great captain.
Yeah.
He's a great, leader, captain. He's a good person, a humane person. But as a football player, currently at the moment, I think he's in the elite of the world, no doubt. But is he world class? Not currently. And that's going to annoy a lot of Arsenal fans, but it's just a statement of fact. What's he doing at the Ballon d'Or when he wasn't even nominated? What's he doing there? I may as well turn up.
Just for our seats.
But it's true, and I'm just going to get my suit on. I'm going to go to Paris at the gala. I'm going to say, all right, guys, yeah, it's me, Stanchion, yeah.
Yeah, just pop down the Burtons to get your suit and that.
Are you nominated, Mr. Harrison? No, I'm not nominated. I'm just, I'm an elite, reporter, really. Yeah.
Oh, okay, come on in, yeah.
Exactly.
Come take a seat on the front row.
Like they said to Farage in the European Court or wherever, or European Union. You fought so hard for the exit. Why are you here? Do you know what I mean? Anyway.
Right. Like looking at some of his stats now. He's just about to make.
I reckon he's worth 100 million.
If I'm looking at it now, if this is correct, he's just about to make his 200th appearance for Arsenal.
What's he worth to you?
To me, if I'm an Arsenal fan,
how much do you reckon he's worth?
If I'm an Arsenal fan, he's 120 million.
Yeah.
If I'm a non-Arsenal fan and I want to buy him, 75.
I think he's a 120 million pound winger.
I think. Look, let's go in the range of. I would say, depending on your contract length and how many years are left, I would say if there's 3 or more years left on his contract, I would expect to pay 100 to 125 million pound, including add-ons, and I think that's fair for Bukayo Saka. He's a class player, but not currently world class.
The one thing that really stuck out for me is the way that he bounced back after that World Cup.
Yeah,
that I always thought he was good, and I do, like you said, I like him as a character. The clips of him you see around the camp, he gets on with everybody. Yeah. He's that sort of leader, that sort of friendly guy. And the bounce back he had after taking a lot of criticism, racist comments, horrible comments online, that just kind of went to me. That's the sort of bloke you want.
Yeah.
He's perfect to have around. And the star boy name that he's given kind of showed why he was doing it. Going back to the comment, is he overrated?
He can't be star boy anymore now he's 24. So he can't live off that any longer.
Well, they got the new star boy.
Yeah.
In Max, he's going to be the next star boy. And he is an out-and-out winger. Watching him, Max Star,
it depends what context we're talking about overrated. Is he overrated by Arsenal fans or is he overrated by the rest of us football fans? Because the rest of us football fans probably don't overrate him. We know he's quality. There's undeniable and irrefutable evidence that this guy's got the talent to go right to the top. But if you talk to an Arsenal fan on Sky Sports the other day and they said, who's the best Premier League winger? And the Arsenal lady turned around and goes, Bukayo Saka. And we're talking about what? Come on.
Or is it because Louis is a Liverpool fan?
Well, I think, ultimately, as far as I'm concerned, I think that's a debate for another day, but I don't think currently Bukayo Saka is the best right winger in Premier League history. I'm pretty certain a Portuguese legend of the game has something to say about that.
Yeah. Right, moving on, we have a longer comment here. So this is more of there's a couple of bits to this. It's from, we've got Parfit for the Gram. So, becoming an established Premier League side, how difficult is it and what does it take? So Callum is a Bournemouth fan. So I'm guessing he's probably talking about now Bournemouth becoming that established side, playing a little bit of football.
Certainly a solid team.
Yeah, and you've got to look at teams like Bournemouth, Brighton. They're now up and in and around that.
But
Newcastle were an up and
but
down team.
At the same
for years.
time, are Bournemouth established enough to say that if they lose a manager or
Well, this
maybe
is the thing.
I know they lost a fair few good players last season,
Yeah.
and it's like they've never left. They've
Yeah,
done
yeah,
well,
yeah.
but
you
could
know
a
what?
manager and a Semenyo
But when
be enough?
to be fair, in my opinion, when Eddie went,
Yeah.
I honestly I thought, well, that's the
Same.
end of that.
Yeah, so did I.
He's done so well now. I thought that he built that.
I didn't expect him to come back up.
No.
If I'm honest, I
And
didn't
thought-
expect him to come
and
back up.
Now, if they could just be steady for another few years, why can't they be?
I tell you what, there is another American owner now.
How many
and
clubs are owned by
That's
Americans?
what I mean. It's really starting to become a
But
thing
Liverpool-
now.
Liverpool America?
yeah, but the American owners at the moment at the Premier League clubs are actually being they're ensuring they don't go bust, shall we say?
Yeah,
Yeah,
They're,
but
you
like
know,
we've got American owners now.
So let's
but
go through the
it's-
Prem. Off you got Arsenal's not American, is it?
yeah, Stan Kroenke,
So there you go.
Yeah.
Liverpool, like you just said,
Yeah.
Leeds are like basically
Man United,
owners.
Yeah.
Aston Villa.
It's the whole-
It's a lot, isn't it?
At
Yeah.
what point do we then become just like American football?
I'll tell you
they
what.
tried to get that sort
we
of stuff
could-
in the back door, and it, with the European Super
If this
League.
Club World Cup's going on like it is, like that, it's a big thing now. Yeah, over in America.
Yeah.
It won't be long before we have the All Stars games and.
Mate,
What
do you know
about
what?
if
I'm
we're
in favour
playing-
of a Premier League All Stars game. I love the idea of a Premier League All Stars
Let them
game.
have a
mate.
fucking
Off-season.
period off.
We're talking off-season
Yeah,
one game.
but I'm talking like
I
would
don't even
say-
like the Club World Cup.
No, but
let
I'm
them
saying-
have a holiday.
I would say, or once every couple of years, I'd like to get the All Stars together. It's a glorified friendly, but it's a good spectacle. But everyone's, as I say, entitled to their opinion.
It would suit Liverpool. Whoever's doing well at the time.
I think it
would
should
be a
be
perfect opportunity
voted.
to.
voted by the fans.
But then are we doing?
But, like, we could
you know
vote.
how we do fantasy football only 3 from one club?
Yeah.
Maybe you
Yeah,
could do
I agree with
3
that.
from one club max.
Yeah.
And voted by the fans.
You know,
Yeah.
imagine having a Van Dijk and Gabriel centre back partnership, right?
Raya in goal.
Come on, mate.
I'd
Alisson.
rather Van Dijk and Saliba.
Yeah, well, okay, Van
Yeah,
Dijk and
that
one of
would-
them.
yeah.
Sorry, Arsenal fans. But back to the original question, just quickly with Bournemouth. For me, I got concerned not after Eddie Howe went. I got concerned after who's the Gary O'Neill.
Yeah.
I got concerned after he went and Richard Hughes had left at that time. He's obviously gone on to Anfield, and I was very nervous then. And then when Iriola took over, it took him a little bit of time.
I'm
but
so annoyed we
he's
didn't
excellent. I just worry.
Good
the only thing
manager.
I worry is when I don't know who their director of football is now, and I don't know how good he is in comparison to Richard Hughes. I mean, his track record at the minute seems pretty good. Whoever it is bringing in that left back, because he's good.
Yeah.
However, what I will say is if they're to lose Iriola to Man United, just as a shoulda, woulda, coulda, I then tend to worry about them again because I don't believe the fan base is as big as many other Premier League clubs out there.
They need to spend.
That's a
They
fact.
need to grow that stand. The stadium needs to be bigger.
Well, it used to be
Yeah.
Dean Court, didn't it? I went there.
10,000.
It's tiny, mate. It's, yeah.
They're no bigger. This is going to sound mental, but if you ask any real football fans and honest football fans up and down the pyramid, in
shouldn't be
terms
in
of
the
their
Premier
fan
League.
base, they're no bigger than Walsall.
Yeah,
in
it's
terms
not-
of,
it's not-
I'm not, their club's got more money than Walsall. They've got a better squad. They've got better training facilities. They've achieved more, granted. But in terms of sheer fan base, and
Yeah,
Walsall
yeah,
in the
yeah.
heart of the West Midlands have systematically always
Surrounded
been in the
by
same
big-
league.
big clubs
And they've
as
always
well.
been in the same league as Bournemouth.
Yeah,
It's only
yeah.
the last 10 years that Bournemouth have done well, and that's just a
That
statement
can't
of fact.
be right, surely.
What's this?
Yeah,
I know it's
Stadium
around
capacity,
10,000.
11,000 seats.
11,000.
I think they need to look. The catchment area in the city of Bournemouth itself is a massive city. So I think that if they continue with the investment and the rate of growth,
Yeah.
then my previous comments would be null and void.
Why do you think that hasn't happened sooner?
They have
Why
got
they
a
not-
planned expansion,
Okay.
is what it's saying, which will be 20,000, which still
You're looking
is
at Brentford.
not
Brentford's
enough.
another one. Brentford is another one. The same as
Yeah.
Bournemouth for me.
Yeah.
They are. And I
Are
think
they
when you're
also
looking at,
in that question? So established as well now?
Yeah, they are now. I think Keith
Brentford,
Andrews has done a fantastic job, and I
Bournemouth.
think he needs to be commended. Well, a great start so far.
Yeah.
And I think that Brentford, Bournemouth,
Brighton,
Brighton.
you could say.
I think the way that Brighton are ran, their owners are going nowhere.
To be
and the
honest,
director of football is excellent.
I've said this to so many.
Bigger
When
ground as
we
well.
go to watch England, I've said this to meeting Brighton fans, just fucking enjoy it now because Like when we went down, when we had Daniel Sturridge on the books, we had Ron. Like we had an established Premier League team,
And it went wrong.
and then it went wrong, and then it hurts you.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it whilst it's
But
there.
I think this is why, apart from Sunderland this year, who ran
Yeah.
wild in the transfer window,
Yeah.
Everyone's being a little bit more safer than they've ever been,
But
I think.
looking at it this way, let's say two newly promoted teams stayed up. So let's say it was a Wolves and a West Ham that went down.
Yeah.
It won't necessarily happen. Let's just say that, for instance.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt those clubs massively.
That's two Premier League established sides
You
going
look,
down.
But you
Yeah,
look
yeah,
at the
yeah.
amount of players, they've got established players which are going to want to play top level football.
Yeah. Well, high wages.
Yeah.
Well, they've both been down in the last 20 years, and you're right, you could have another Sunderland, Leeds on your hands. I mean, look at the clubs that have been down there recently.
Yeah.
Newcastle, Villa, they've all been down there, haven't they?
You just got to hope that they have all the right clauses in place.
But back to Callum's question, which is a very, very good question. What does it take to become a Premier League established club? Is that what we said?
Yeah. Just got to be
I reckon
consistent. and it's consistent.
five
I
years
think
in the Prem.
But I
and
also
6.
think off the field stability
Counts
is
massive.
absolutely
Yeah, key.
crucial. If
Yeah.
you've got a chairman who will sell, but not reinvest, because you could argue Bournemouth have sold some incredible talent in Huijsen, they've sold Kirkes, they've sold a few players, haven't they? But they've reinvested what looks like from the outside, reinvested and kept hold of Semenyo as well. And I think
Senesi's
that,
been
I think
good
wasn't
at
that those inbound transfers were like 40 million, and it was outbound was like 270 or something.
I think
wild.
you could argue it's a gamble. You could argue that a lot of Brighton signings are gambles.
Yeah.
However,
how do they fucking do it?
I think it's
mate?
the scouting network is essential.
It's
They've gone into Venezuela.
unreal.
See in the cup that hat trick. He scored 4, didn't he?
Yeah, he's
Gone
from
to
MLS,
Venezuela,
wasn't he?
Yeah.
MLS.
Bolivia,
Yeah.
MLS. They've just basically took America and gone. You
You're the
live
best.
there. You
Yeah.
live there. You're
Yeah.
in Bolivia.
FM
you're in
region.
Venezuela.
Come back to me in 6
Pulling
months'
out of
time.
nothing.
Absolutely. And if it
Yeah,
goes
shout in
wrong,
6
if it goes wrong, they've cost them 350 grand,
Yeah.
and, then,
Yeah.
and then they're turning them over for some of them for 100
Yeah.
million pounds. We got McAllister for 35 million. We were lucky, but having said that, good question, Callum. That was a really interesting debate. Shouts is a brand new football prediction game. Predict the scorelines and goal scorers to earn incredible points. Compete against your mates in mini leagues and across the world on the global scene. Best of all, it's free to play. And now with an incredible £1,000 cash prize on offer, it's the right time to download from the App Store. Now that's a shout.
Right. This one I think, has been a talking point for many years, to be fair, and the way that the Premier League has been going. This one is from Gemma Hanford, my lovely wife, that says, the idea of the big 6 clubs is outdated.
What's your big 6?
Well, my big 6
Go on.
is Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, and I always say Tottenham, but... Well, that was always the big 5 for me, and then I don't know what the 6 was. Mine was always a 5.
Man City?
Man City haven't. That's only recent.
Yeah,
It's only recently a big 6 for me.
It used to be the big
As a
4.
kid, it wasn't Man City.
Yeah.
It used to be the big 4. It
Yeah,
used to be
the big 4, yeah,
Chelsea,
top
Arsenal,
4.
Man United,
Top
Liverpool.
4, yeah.
And then after that,
The big 6 is definitely a thing.
But it's because that's where the Super League that was being
I
talked
still
about.
don't understand how Tottenham. I've said this on so many. I don't understand how they were even in the conversation. At that point, they hadn't won a trophy in 100 years.
I think
I just
Man
don't,
City.
I just don't
I know
understand.
you said no, but I think they've concreted themselves there.
Yeah, now.
Chelsea,
If Spurs are in that conversation, Man City have to be above them.
But James is right. When I was a kid, it was just the big 4.
Yeah.
It was the big 4.
I think my personal opinion, just quickly, I think the big 6 does exist, and I believe that each season you get one or two that try to disrupt the apple cart. It started with Leicester, it then went to West Ham, it then went to Newcastle, it then went to Villa. This season it could be Palace or Everton, and I think you always get one that gets chucked in there, but historically one has a poor season, like Man United, and then someone else comes in. But more often than not, I would love to get a graphic up of the final Premier League tables of the last 5 years and see how many times the big 6 have finished in the big 6.
To be honest, for me, it will always just be Liverpool, Man United.
They're the biggest.
That's all I can ever. That's all it will be.
Arsenal.
But they're still not.
I don't think they've ever finished out of the top 5.
They haven't won the Champions League. This is what I mean.
Well, they haven't won the Premier League since 2002.
Yeah, I mean,
or 3-4.
They're big for the Premier League, but
that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about
Liverpool, Man United have dominated the world.
Yeah. But we're just talking about the Prem,
Yeah,
based on
the
the
big
top
six,
six in the
yeah.
Prem.
I think it does
Arsenal.
exist.
I don't think Arsenal have been out of the top 5, so they would be in the
Yeah.
six.
But it's a pointless conversation now because
It is pointless. It's
yeah.
just, it doesn't matter now.
No.
If there was a Super League tomorrow, I think the top 6 that would have went in before, I think you'd have to chuck in Newcastle to that mix as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
given
Yeah,
their
yeah,
owners.
yeah.
And then there's 7 clubs all of a sudden. So if it's a closed shop and they say, well, you can't have 7, you can only have 4. Do you know what I mean? Then
You're
you
going
would
with-
be looking like you go Man United, even how poor they are at the
Just
minute,
for
they're
corn.
massive.
Yeah.
I would go with, I would have to say Liverpool, I'd have
Yeah.
to say Arsenal.
Yeah.
And then it's a toss-up between Chelsea. I'd have to say Chelsea. Look how much
Chelsea have got to
well,
go.
they've
They've just
multiple
won
Champions
League.
League.
They've also just now the best club in the world.
Yeah, so
it's not a real
I know.
allegedly, but ultimately saying that would be the 4 for me. So no, I'd have
Yeah.
Tottenham nowhere near it.
But also,
yeah.
just to add to that, I always want English clubs to do well in Europe.
Yeah.
But I don't like the fact
not anymore.
that it's not just top 4 that get Champions League
Yeah, there's
anymore.
a
I know
lot-
Spurs
there's
won
too
it.
many teams.
That's
in
what
Europe,
I mean.
man.
Just let it
I used to
only be
like
4
just
teams.
watching
So-
like 2 in the Champions League,
Yeah.
1 in Europa
Yeah,
League.
I had
love
a great
that.
debate the other day.
It's the Champions League.
Yeah.
It's funny you should say
Champions.
this. So this is a really good question. There was 2 things just before we move on. I know time's ticking, but there's 2 things as a side note. Okay, and let me put a question to you two. I didn't get my question in. Okay, so first of all, do you like the idea of changing the League Cup format? And those that listen to other previous things have heard me say it before. I'm going to stick by it. The League Cup at the moment, I think, is boring. I think a lot of the clubs at the moment put out their reserve teams. They put out their kids in the early rounds against the lesser clubs. Should we be honest? You'll put out your full strength team to go in the hope of going to Wembley.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. But would you be in favour, okay, of taking the top 4 from Scotland? All right, you have to hear me out now. Okay, the top 4, and you take out the top 4 from the Premier League, who finished the top 4 the previous season. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
So what was the top 4 in the Premier League last season? Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, and who finished 4th? Chelsea. So
Yeah.
you would take them out of the League Cup.
Yeah.
Okay. And you would put in the Scottish top 4, which then immediately opens it up for your likes of Newcastle, Tottenham, Villa, and then you would rename it the British Cup. Okay, and that's one debate, and then the second debate is for the Champions League. I got absolute
That will get
pelters.
feisty.
I got
Then,
pelters for
James
this.
is right. Anyone can fucking win it.
That'd be
Yeah.
brilliant. I mean, you could, someone says, "All right, so Southampton are going to travel up to Hibs on a Tuesday night, are they?" But you would make concessions,
Neutral ground.
or but they're all
that gets difficult.
But they're all rich. I'm sure they all go on to jets, or they go on to planes.
Plymouth still sell out fucking Sunderland.
Carlisle away in the
100%.
cup or something.
The fans will still want to do it.
So that's
Fans
an
are
idea.
fans.
Yeah.
So
Fans
fans
will still do
listening, fans listening, would you be open to the idea of a British Cup? And then the second question is the Champions League. I think should be exactly that. I think it should just be the champions of every single country, and then the second place would even if you want to do second and third into the Europa,
do 2.
and then 4th or 5th into the conference. But the
That's
champions is champion against champion. If you ain't won your league,
You ain't
you're
in
not
it.
a champion.
Yeah.
You are not a champion.
Why are you in the Champions League?
Because it's money.
Yeah, even if you've won the Cyprian League,
You deserve
you're
the same.
still in there.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
do you not? Yeah.
So talking of the top 6 or top 4. So this weekend just gone, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Manchester United all lost. Yeah, that's not happened for 31 years.
Wow.
All on the same day, all losing. That's wild.
It just goes to show we've got the best league in the world, the
I
most
think
competitive league. Maybe second to the championship for competitive, or almost on a par.
Yeah. So next question comes from Alex Mems, a Liverpool fan, has put, Jordan Henderson is a better captain than Steven Gerrard. I think there's a lot missing from that question or that statement.
He's always in the England squad for a reason.
I think as a captain, as a person, you're probably going to want Gerrard. But as a on paper trophy captain,
I'm happy to play devil's advocate here because I've always criticised Steven Gerrard as a player because he never took his team. As the leader, he never took his team to win the league. So I'll play devil's advocate and I would say I can understand what he's getting at.
He is also...
But if you put Steven Gerrard as captain of Jose Mourinho's Chelsea team with those players around him, he wins the league. No disrespect, but Gerrard was playing with Andre Varanin. He was playing with playing with Siriotis Kirigakis at the back. You know, Jordan Henderson, he's playing
I'm
with
sorry, but
Mohamed Salah.
look at the
He's
Man
playing with
United
Van
team
Dijk.
that was winning the league.
Yeah, but look at the manager. And I think that ultimately, we are Roy
Yeah, but
Hodgson.
that's what Steven Gerrard should be.
But ultimately, I think Steven Gerrard was playing in a team that was way, way below his talent level himself. I think when you look at that Champions League final, when he's pretty much single-handedly brought us back from 3-0 down against probably one of the greatest assembled teams on earth. The chance we had to win that league was 2014. That was the chance. And I believe Brendan Rodgers going for the jugular at Palace ruined it. But Gerrard, Henderson, they're both class in their own right. But I believe, you know, you could argue that a bad workman blames his tools in terms of Gerrard, but look at the team and the manager and the stability at the football club that Jordan Henderson inherited. I mean, Jesus Christ, imagine you put Gerrard in Klopp's team. You would want everything, like, you know.
I will say Henderson has had a very good England team that he's been part of.
Henderson,
how did he get on in Saudi and how did he get on at Ajax?
Ajax was a bit of a mixed one, wasn't it? It started well, went a bit sour, went back to being well before he came back. I'll tell you what Henderson is, and this goes back to what we spoke about Barry. We all talk about Henderson like we spoke about Barry, I think. He didn't do a lot, as in trophy-wise. Yeah. Henderson's got the trophies to back that up.
Very good in training.
Very good trainer. Yeah. He's always working hard in games. Yeah. He rarely gives you a bad performance.
Indisputable.
Great player.
Jordan Henderson was severely of Bobby Firmino rated underratedness, I believe. He's a great captain, a great player.
He's
you would go to war with him.
England as well.
Yeah,
I rate him. I've liked him.
Although my dad, for instance, just said that technically, I don't think he was as good. Personally, I mean technically, you'd pass the ball sideways a lot, but I get, given the situation, he may have been told to do that, especially going to Gareth Southgate.
Don't forget, this is still another Liverpool legend.
I'm not, but I have said, as a captain, as a leader, he lived the values of the club. He's a great player in terms of bringing youth players through. He did score important goals, but technically, he's simply not on the same level as Steven Gerrard. And I believe if you put Henderson, if those two swapped places, and you put Jordan Henderson in that Liverpool team from 2000 to about 2014, does he achieve what Steven Gerrard did, picking up and lifting that team? And if you put Gerrard in Henderson's place,
I totally agree. I just wanted to make
if Gerrard was in Henderson's position, Liverpool would have dominated for a lot longer than they have. It would have been a lot earlier, I think. It would have been so early.
Yeah.
Another quick question. I've got on here. It's from Eric.op. And this is a question I think we're going to be looking at come the end of the season. So it says here, if Arteta doesn't win the Premier League this season, should he be sacked? I think if he doesn't win a trophy,
I was going to say
he should be sacked.
Yeah,
I think you've got the fan view and you've got the club view. I think the football club at Arsenal, bearing in mind they've just got rid of the director of football, so something's happened behind the scenes there.
He's gone home. He's gone back, hasn't he? I believe
something's untoward that's happened there. I think as a fan, you've got every right to question that spend, and you've got every right to question this. Oh, we're fantastic. We've been knocking on the door and it won't quite open. Why?
Yeah, there's got to be a reason why.
And I've said it before, Simeone in charge of that football club, I think you get trophies. However, if he does go on to win a trophy this season, you keep him. If he doesn't, the club's going to keep him because he's bringing in millions by getting into the Champions League every season.
Yeah, he's done a good job, but he's not done enough.
This is what frustrates me with football now, is what you've just said. That statement of,
but it's true.
We're going to keep him because he brings us money. That it's killing the game, man. It's
fan view, club view.
Yeah, it's like, as a fan, going to that point, as a fan, I want my team to be successful. And if that means winning, my success is different to Arsenal's success. As a Leeds fan, I want to survive in the Premier League, get a good cup run. In a few years, if we stay in the Prem, look for European football.
You live off those little memories.
But if I'm an Arsenal fan,
you want trophies.
We need fucking trophies, and I wouldn't be happy with not having trophies.
It will always be that argument between a big club. It's like, you haven't won fuck all, mate. So Man United fans have got every right to take the piss out of Arsenal, which is weird because
it is weird.
Many die-hard Arsenal fans will be going, well, Man United, look where they are in the league.
They won more trophies.
Still getting, still winning
trophy.
You are in football. Ultimately, as a fan, your team is in football to win silverware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And you can get close and close and close and close. And there's this ridiculous argument that they had comparing Arteta to Klopp, saying, oh, well, it took Klopp 5 or 6 years to win a trophy. Well, this guy's had nearly 9.
Yeah.
You know, and he still hasn't won a trophy.
And Crystal Palace have won a trophy that they were in.
Too
and
emotional.
Newcastle won a trophy last season that they could have won as well.
I'll say it till the cows come home. He is too emotional. Put Diego Simeone in charge of that team and they will win.
Yep.
He's a winner.
Yeah. Sticking to managers, I've got one here from Jed_FC. So Jed has put a nice statement out. It's going to ruffle the the Manchester United fans here. It says, Sir Alex Ferguson retired at the right time to save his legacy, as would he win as much today's football with the likes of Klopp and Pep around.
Just quickly, he retired at the right time because the team he won that league with was nowhere near his best, and I think that he got out at the right time. If he had stayed, I think that was the last hurrah. That squad.
Who won the season after he left? Was it City that won the league?
Yeah.
Didn't they then just start
Is that their
dominating?
City,
Yeah.
Chelsea, Leicester,
Yeah.
City,
City.
Liverpool, City.
Yeah.
I think prime Sir Alex, Man United.
Does he do as well?
Pep
with
is a better
Pep and Klopp around?
coach.
I think as a
Sir Alex
manager.
is a better manager.
I think Sir Alex Ferguson, as a Liverpool fan, I'll sit here and I'll say it. I think as a manager, he was one of the greatest managers ever. Would he do it in this era? Yeah, I think he would. I think, let's be honest, I think football really, in terms of, he's already oversaw a huge generational change. So when he took over Manchester United in the mid-1980s to when he left in 2012-13, football was night and day. So he's shown that he can evolve. He's shown that on countless occasions, this guy was trying to do, knocking out that Barcelona team out of the semi-finals of the Champions League with Scholes scoring that wonder goal. He's shown he can do it. No, I think he can do it 100%. World-class manager, no doubt. And but he got out at the right time because
I think the
good.
first part of the statement's right. I think getting out when he did, fair play. He's done well there.
Yeah.
And maybe some of the videos I've seen.
You've got to
of him,
remember when he left, he still had fucking Robin van Persie scoring a lot of goals.
So I genuinely believe him being around football for as long as he did, he would have seen Pep growing up as a player, and then going into that transition of being a manager.
No, he's come up against Pep in the Champions League.
I think in his brain and in his smart brain, he's gone, fuck this. I know what's coming.
That is a fucking tidal wave
I
heading
know
towards
what's coming,
us right now.
and I'm getting the fuck out of it. And I think he's done the right thing.
I think on a personal level as well, I think he'd mentioned something about his late wife, obviously, before she passed on. I think he wanted to spend a bit of time with her, and I think that's fair. But ultimately, that Man United team was never the strongest.
We see it with players where they maybe do an extra 2 years when they should have just ended it there and then and let that... Do you know what I mean? They take something away from their career by having those 2 shit seasons.
Yeah, like a boxer having a couple of extra fights at the end.
Just for that little bit of money. I've got a couple more here, just a quick one that I think we should have a look at, because at the beginning of the season and in pre-season, I wouldn't have agreed with this. But after a few staple signings, maybe I have. Everton to get European football this season. This is from Ethan Smart. The start of the pre-season, I would have said, nah. Fuck no.
Yeah.
And watching them against Leeds, first game of season, again, fuck no. But the stadium's built. The atmosphere's there.
They've just conceded their first goal in the stadium.
That's what I mean.
Well,
the atmosphere's there. Yeah. The story's there. They've brought in a few good players.
7th gets you Europe now?
So like we just said, exactly like we just said.
They are capable, but it's not a biggie. Like,
but
they can get European football. Yes.
I think they're going to get European football. And
I called it in my Premier League predictions. I said that Everton will be the surprise package. Everton, now looking at it, could be bloody Palace as well, to be fair. But if they lose Gay in January, that changes. I was going to say this earlier.
When do we start taking Palace seriously? Because they're third and they look good.
Aren't they the longest unbeaten run now?
Yeah, they're
18, 19 games.
And they lost
Eze.
bits, and Mateta is phenomenal, and Ismaili Sarr looks like a whole different player.
They've got the core is perfect.
Yeah, they're playing the Man United system properly.
Yeah, it's the same
system.
It's exactly the same.
But Man United don't get Glasner. He doesn't give.
I think he's a bit of a sly old dog.
You reckon?
Yeah. Look at what happened on deadline day. You sell Gahey, I'm leaving. Do you know what I mean?
He's still burned.
6.5
I see through you, absolutely, and I see through, and I believe Iriola, Southgate, Glasner. They're the three.
I think it'll be Iriola that goes to Man United.
Yeah,
That's
goes
what I
Palace.
could see.
Look, they didn't lose the Charity Shield. They won that, so fair play to them for that.
Yeah, and I'll give them credit because they kept their man. They've won a fucking trophy because of it.
Yeah.
And that's like,
And as
they've never won a trophy before.
Yeah.
As a genuine football fan,
but they're unlucky
I'm
not to be in the
happy.
Europa League.
Yeah.
I'm happy Palace won it.
This is everything
I'm
we
happy.
want.
Yeah.
Like Newcastle, Palace winning trophies. It's not fucking Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal. Just, it gives us hope.
Yeah, so for me, I agree. That's a good take on Palace, and I agree with you. And am I worried about them? No.
But if I was a mid-table team,
But when do we start taking them
and
seriously?
Newcastle and I don't. I think they'll be. Crystal Palace are not going to be a bona fide Champions League team for forever. I think they're a well-established Premier League club, and sometimes they'll have a good season, and other times they'll have a poor
I'll put
season.
it in another way. When did you start taking Leicester seriously in that season?
The year after they won it. And then they tried to back it up and then come fourth a few times.
At no point in there, even with 5 games left to go, you didn't think.
Oh right, okay. I'm sorry. I know what you mean now. So I would have said when they were top, and I would say
Christmas.
Do you know? I still think it's that much of a footballing
still
miracle.
Didn't think they were going to do it,
even with 6 or 7 games left, I thought they ain't going to do that. Tottenham have got this. Even they can't mess it up.
Right, last one, quick one. So this comment was actually a week ago from Stoty. It says Nottingham Forest will be in a relegation battle with Ange in charge.
Do you know
so
what,
this
mate?
was before the couple of results.
They are one place outside the relegation. Just a quick one on Stoty. Pleasure to meet you the other night. I went out for my brother-in-law's birthday and I bumped into you. He goes, "Oh, you're Stanchion." And I had a few people coming up to me actually asking me. Ted. Yeah, he did. Good to see you, Stoty. And your question will be read out now. And so I think they are going to struggle, mate.
I think they could be in. There's a lot going on behind the scenes.
He does not suit that team at all.
It doesn't suit being told what to do, and the chairman tells you what to do.
Not one thing.
Nunez is left there for a reason.
Not one thing. Like
Makes
works
any
in my
sense.
head. No,
because Forest in my.
Which is annoying, 'cause I really like Ange.
But their identity is a defensive team, right?
Yeah,
Forest,
Nuno created a structure on Murillo and
Milenkovic, is it?
Yeah, Milenkovic.
But like this is what I mean. Their defensive structure was their thing.
It's fucking non-existent.
It's just ripped that up and just thrown it out the window.
He just walked into the change room and goes, "Oh fuck that, mate! We're going to go out there and we're going to go on attack."
Yeah, you defending their half.
Yeah, come on, mate, Christ.
James is. We're just gonna have
I've always punched people in the face for that.
Whole episode of James and his accents.
So the next question that we've got is from someone quite close to the podcast, I would say, and someone originally that was in the original group chat from where this podcast was spawned from. His name was Simon. He's an Arsenal fan. He's very bitter still about the league last year.
So we'll give him his name to us is Insurance.
Mr. Insurance. Explain, Luke. Or Luke, explain why he's Mr. Insurance.
They could be coming to play Burnley this weekend, and he would make a big point about how hard it is to.
Yeah, something
Burnley.
will be up, and he'll ring him up. He'll say, and then can I just have a quick Arsenal insurance policy, please, just in case it goes tits up.
And then if it did go tits up, he'd say, "Well, I told you that was going to happen."
Yeah, I told you that was going to happen. So Mr. Insurance I believe it's a voice note.
It is. So Mr. Insurance, Mr. Simon, resident Arsenal fan. I'm gonna read out your voice note, mate, or I'm gonna play your voice note actually, so the masses can hear, and then we're gonna debate it because actually, in your defence, I think
it's a good question.
Probably the best question of the night.
Yeah, very good.
So here we go.
So what I mean is, if you're put through on goal, say James, okay, and then Luke comes across and he's the last man and he takes you out and he's denied you, okay, he's denied you the opportunity to score a goal. Do you think that is warranty of a red card, or do you say it's a yellow card for Luke who's fouled you, but you get a penalty because it still then gives you that opportunity to score the goal?
Great question. Who wants to have a go first?
Just quickly. So what he's trying to say is, instead of it being a free kick outside the box,
Yeah.
and you then actually you're not getting that goal scoring opportunity because blokes are going to get in the wall, etc. He's saying it's just a straight up penalty.
Yeah.
And a yellow card. You're not sent off.
Yeah.
But you get that yellow card and you still get to keep your goal.
They've already implemented it in a way where you get the double jeopardy now. So goalkeepers and defenders don't get sent off if it's
because there will be goalies that will come out knowing full well that they're fucked, and they'll just go, I'll take him out here.
Yeah.
I'll take a red.
Yep.
And then he's probably not going to score from 30 yards.
Yeah.
I'm having a guess he's getting at that sort of angle
Yeah.
from it, which he could.
So do you think they should have a penalty and a yellow card?
I think it would make it more. You should always try and keep 11 against 11. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I think we should always try
It's
and
a better
keep.
game
It's
of
a better game of football. So maybe I think maybe the penalty shootout, the penalty keeps the opportunity to try and score.
Mm-hmm.
The blokes then conceded a yellow, and I genuinely believe it would stop last ditch tackles being made on purpose.
Yeah.
Because
To professional fouls.
to professional fouls, I think that would stop, because it's like, I can take him out here. Yeah, I'm going to get red carded, but let's say it's the 97th minute.
Yeah.
You're one-on-one with a goalie.
We've seen it
it.
before.
Just fucking pull him down.
What do you think, Luke? Do you think there should be a yellow card and a penalty?
I think keep football as it is. I don't like changing too much.
Yeah.
It's worked for so many years.
Yeah.
But
then all these little rules keep changing. The double jeopardy, the last man.
Well, as soon as
the handball
VAR
isn't
came
handball,
in, we've seen countless amount of rules changes.
Yeah.
When before VAR, there was nothing hard. I think we had like 9 changes over bloody God knows how long. Just keep. I like it how it is, but it is a very good question because it probably would work.
It would work.
I've got a way it can work.
Okay.
I've done a lot of thinking about this, and it would need to involve VAR, and it would need to involve a rapid detection point and a rapid decision, because too many times, as we know with VAR, it can take such a long time. It can ruin the flow of the game and also the momentum and atmosphere of a game. You know, when you get an equaliser and then you're back on them for another 5 minutes, you more likely could get another one. So for me, an introduction of an invisible line threshold, and I would call it the last man rule. Okay, you would use VAR.
He's thought about this.
I've really thought about this question. So, like offsides are managed in the VAR room, you could have the threshold line. Okay, and if you imagine it's a detection point, one in each half. Okay, so if you imagine when do we distinguish whether it's he's last man? You know, there should be a certain point. How do I explain
Would you
this?
say from the halfway line between the halfway and the box,
there's an
another
invisible line.
But
a
then,
fake line.
but then it almost couldn't be. It would almost have to be angled because it couldn't towards the goal. If
Correct.
you're out
so
wider-
like a triangle.
Okay,
Yeah.
but that makes
Like a
sense.
triangle.
But we're living in an age of technology, so this shouldn't be too hard to
Okay.
implement.
they'll
From
make
the
it hard
penalty
work.
spot, like that. Way.
Yeah, and what this means is basically what we're saying is because sometimes you could argue if you've got Michael Owen 2001 through one-on-one with the goalkeeper and you've got Neil Ruddock chasing him, he ain't getting him. Yeah?
Yeah.
However, if you've got Kevin Davis at Bolton with the ball, a target man, slow, great player, but very slow.
Yeah.
And you've got prime Rio Ferdinand chasing him
Vidic,
over a short space of time. He's going to catch him. He's going to catch him. So where do you distinguish to say whether that's not? So you use the line to say at that point,
That's
detection point to say he ain't catching him whether you're Linford Christie or not.
Yeah.
And,
It's
and then
good.
you can,
I
and then you, and then
totally
you
get
distance
it.
then
over
you
time and all that malarkey.
Anything over that threshold line, you go, yep, okay, cool. That's a penalty. It's a red card or even a yellow card. That's fine. It's a penalty and a yellow card. They get the opportunity to score rightfully. If it's behind that line,
free kick.
I think we're adjusted to say you could probably catch him.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
going to be a free kick with
Yeah,
no
it's a
card
good-
at all.
See,
Sure.
I totally get it, and it's good, but it's another thing for them to
It
look
is.
at and work
It is.
out.
We
And-
can't even get the fucking offside.
We can't even get the offside.
Yeah,
But
it could-
it's something you could.
But
look
another
at.
thing I'm noticing now we've got it is referees don't like to make decisions anymore.
No.
Because they're like
There's too many people
they're going
as
to
well.
make the decision for me.
We've been seeing in the last couple of years too many goalies / defenders getting hurt. After
yeah.
the
Out of the
decision.
offside.
The decision should
Yeah.
be made. It should have already been made.
When are they going to have common sense? If I was to take over the PGMOL tomorrow, I would encourage the referees and say, look, you've made the decision. Your gut's telling you that's the correct decision, but the man, Stoty or Philly or whatever, they need to stop saying that as if they're mates' names as well. Be bloody professional. Yeah, his name's David, not David. Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's right. And I think that's right.
Do you think that we should have players in the box? Ex-players in there?
Well, no, because I think tribalism and clubs. You've got Gary Neville in there, and he's commentating on a Liverpool title.
No, but that's where they would say, right? Oh yeah.
See, what I think should happen is you should
refs
have.
Are fans.
You should be able to have.
Just ask the one.
You should be able to have your own review of something,
like tennis,
like
cricket.
Yeah. Where you've got your own, like coach or whatever watching a screen, so he can look back on stuff, and then all of a sudden,
got to make it 5 seconds.
You've got however long to put it in, and you get one a game, and you can say, Pep, I think that's a penalty.
Yeah.
And it'll say, right,
review it.
Fourth official, he can buzz it in. Can we review it? And he will come to the monitor. Maybe let's watch it in real time, because I saw something brilliant the other day, which is VAR would make a kiss look like a porno.
Yeah, the way they sexualise it.
Watch it in real time and let him make his own decision with nobody in his fucking ear telling him.
And I think referees, I would encourage them, as the officer at a PGMOL, I would encourage them to say, don't always change a decision if we send you to the screen.
Yeah.
Have some fucking bollocks.
That's what I mean. Make your own decision.
Make your own decision. Stop being a pussy and do it properly.
Yeah, 100%.
But you know, that was really good to have our fans that have asked these questions. We just before we go, we'd like to say obviously a heartfelt thanks for all of our fans. Over 18,000 views so far on YouTube alone, mostly driven out through the shorts, which are doing really, really well for us. Don't forget to give us the 5-star rating. We're now approaching 30, which is pretty good after only 2 episodes so far. So yeah. Anything to ask or add?
No, just it's nice. I think every now and again we'll pop up one of these videos, get everyone involved. It's nice to see over time of the season we're going to get slightly different questions than we are now. Obviously, they're not.
And watch out for a new video to drop soon where we take a little road trip, because our producer Harry is going to Argentina for a few weeks. So we've got a couple of episodes backed up called Memory Lane, which will drop for you. And we're going to be out on our little travels, actually.
Yeah,
we might be able to pick up some
We're going to try a few little different things. Give it a go. See what you guys think.
But before you know it, we'll be back to the bread and butter, and we'll have consistent podcasting ready for you on the reg. That's all from me.
That's all from me, Lee.
And that's me.